Hey, Puppy Trades! Oh! I know what you're thinking. Oh, I gotta unsubscribe. Pup's about to say something crazy. Damn it, Pup! Oh, no. Why does Pup always say this crazy stuff? Why does he always do this? Pup, you're nuts! Pup, you're killing the game right now. You're killing the game. You're slaughtering NVIDIA. You're like Hermione Granger, Wingardium Leviosa. I'm gonna make NVIDIA and JP Morgan and Coinbase and First Solar and Snowflake and all these other stocks and Moderna and MicroStrategy and I'm gonna make them fly out of a hat. Pup, why do you do this? Nobody predicts the stock market like you. Why do you do this, Pup? You could quote Sunrise's tweets every day for the rest of your life. Why do you do this? Why? I don't get it, Pup. Why couldn't you just tell us the wave counts of Honeywell and Bumble? Why'd you have to tell us you thought that the signal came from a Mike Tyson dancing in a bumblebee humiliation ritual, Pup? Come on. Why? I never told no lie. So I'll tell you right now, you're on to something, man. You're on to something. You're right. You know what you're on to? And this is the best tip I'll ever give you. You know what you're on to right now? Marketing. You send your kids to college, have them study marketing. Damn it. I know I don't give investment advice. Have your kids study marketing. Marketing. These people run the world. I didn't study that. I didn't do it, man. Oh, damn it. Oh. Fuck. I thought data analytics, finance, supply chain, knowing how to run the business, knowing the backbone of fiat and asset prices, knowing advanced economic philosophy. I was so foolish. Marketing. I didn't study marketing, so I can't tell you why. I don't just tell MFs, I can predict the future better than anyone who has ever lived. I have set records in the field of differential geometry, predictive analytics, data science, sacred geometry. So marketing, not studying that, is one reason I make videos like this, but I gotta tell you another one, man. Because that's only half the truth. That one I can claim ignorance. But there's another reason that I can't claim ignorance for. I'm in debt. I owe someone something, and it's not money. I owe someone my life. Someone saved my life. Yes, I was about to die. I was about to freeze over without any electricity, any water, any food, and I would have died. Had it not been for this guy, free to find truth, what'd he tell me? Well, he told me the day that an album called Public Enemy, by Public Enemy, called What Are You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down? He told me that album that released in 2020, 214 days before Valentine's Day in 2021, was a secret, encrypted signal from a group I had heard of called the Illuminati, that he more specifically referred to as the Jesuit order. So Public Enemy released an album called What Are You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down? And they released that album 214 days before Valentine's Day, which is on 2/14. And the picture of the album cover was of the state of Arizona, which is the Valentine state. And I lived in Dallas, Texas. So he said in November and December of 2020 and January of 2020, and again, even up to the days before, if you live in Dallas, Texas, which I did, the 214 area code, your dumb ass needs to be on alert. So it's the pandemic. I'm inside with everyone else. I'm chilling. I'm like, what's this tweaker? What's this schizo guy talking about? I'll entertain it. Yeah, I'll go light a bleezy. And I'll see what this schizo fool is talking about. He says that a band called Public Enemy released an album called What Are You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down 214 days before Valentine's Day on 2/14, and that the album cover of that album was of the Valentine State, Arizona, that was founded and discovered on 2/14. And he said, if you live in the 214 area code in Texas, completely different state. I'm like, what? You need to be on alert. Oh, look, man, this guy's off a perk. This guy's on a perk 50. F a perk 30. This guy's on a perk 50. This guy's on a perk 100. This guy sounds like a clown, you know? But it's the pandemic, so I'm listening to this clown talk about this decode. And then he says some schizo shit. He says, Deshaun Watson and JJ Watt leaving the Houston Texans are confirmation of this Illuminati code. And I'm like, all right. And he says JJ Watt, because their last names are Watt, electricity. JJ Watt went from the Houston Texans to the Arizona Valentine State Cardinals. And that confirmed this ritual. And he said that right before Valentine's Day. And I was listening to everything that he said. And what do you know? I woke up on Valentine's Day, 2/14 in Dallas, Texas, the 214 area code, and the lights were flickering on and off every 30 minutes perfectly. And I looked at Twitter, and ERCOT was trending. Even though I lived in Texas my whole life, ERCOT never really trended in my area. Didn't know much about it. I knew Texas had its own power grid, but the power grid was down on Valentine's Day in the 214 area code just like Zachary K. Hubbard told me it would. So when my family and my friends and my dog needed me to make a decision about whether or not we were going to leave that apartment that went an entire week without any electricity or any water, mind you, no stores around were serving water or any food. It was, what do you have on hand? There's no stores open. Biggest winter freeze ever. I called my family, I called my friends, they all said the same thing. This is Texas. Even if we've lived here for 70 years, we've never seen snow stick for more than 24 to 36 hours. Definitely never not having iced roads for more than 2 days. I said, no, this is different. This guy on the internet named Zachary Hubbard told me that this was a plan all along. I was going to wake up on Sunday 2/14 in Dallas, the 214 area code, and the lights were going to be flickering on and off, and the power grid was going to go down, and it was. So we left my apartment that didn't have water or electricity that entire week, and didn't have stores around it serving food or water that entire week. And we went to a nursing home 45 minutes away in a suburb, and we camped out there until Friday. And even that, it got pretty ugly. But we made it. And I know for a fact, to be honest, if this guy hadn't told me, hey, this is a serious thing. This isn't some, coincidence. This isn't some, random lucky guess. And if I'd stayed there in that apartment with no water, no electricity, blanketed under unprecedented feet of ice, and if I hadn't gone to a retirement home 35, 40 minutes away on Monday, I really think I would have died. And I think that dog you're looking at would have died too. So anyway, what does this guy say about Morgan Spurlock? Morgan Spurlock is dead on the 195th day of the superior general's age. Morgan Spurlock equals 195. What is this guy talking about? He's talking about a group called the Jesuit Order. Father Arturo Sosa Abascal of Venezuela was elected the 31st superior general of the Society of Jesus at the Jesuits General Congregation 36 on October 14th of 2016. Seems like this guy's a pretty important guy, but that's just some random religious group, right, pup? Right? That's just some random religious group. If we look at Morgan Spurlock's birthday, his birthday is on November 12th of 2023. Today is May 24th of 2024. So we are 195 days, including today, from his birthday. So what did this guy, Zachary Hubbard, say? Well, he said that this was the 195th day of this guy's age, which it is, and that this guy's name in gematria equals 195, which it does. So this guy's talking about a connection between the director of Super Size Me and a religious organization called the Jesuit Order. So you're going to say, puppy trades, that's ridiculous. This is a random coincidence, and this is stupid. Why are you giving any attention to this? Okay, let's talk about this idea that this man had a connection to the Jesuit Order. That's why his death was announced on the 195th day of the Superior General of the Jesuit Order's birthday. You'd still say, puppy trades, you're crazy. All right, let's keep that in the back of our mind for a sec. Let's read a couple articles. The New York Post. Morgan Spurlock of Super Size Me, filmmaker, dead at 53. Morgan Spurlock, the documentary filmmaker, best known for Super Size Me, has died. He was 53. He died Thursday night from complications of cancer, the Post can confirm. It was a sad day as we said goodbye to my brother Morgan, said brother Craig Spurlock told Variety. His brother Craig Spurlock told Variety. Morgan gave us so much thought, his art ideas and generosity. Today the world has lost a true creative genius and a special man. I am so proud to have worked together with him. Born in 1970 in Parkersburg, West Virginia, Spurlock graduated from NYU's Tisch School of Arts in 1993. He got his start in the entertainment industry as a playwright, winning awards for his 1999 play, The Phoenix, at the New York Fringe Festival. Before rising to fame, he also created and hosted the Gonzo web series Bet You Will, which paid contestants to do outrageous tasks for money, such as eating a full jar of mayonnaise. The show aired on both MTV and the now defunct Spike. Interesting hand signs he's making in this picture that they show of him. I'm loving it. Super Size Me, a film of epic proportions. Let's think about films of epic proportions coming out. Anyway, his breakout project was the 2004 documentary Super Size Me, which chronicled the changes to his health when he spent 30 days consuming only McDonald's food. It's a great way to take the edge off a very peachy subject, he told The Guardian in 2004. Spurlock was nominated for an Oscar that year, the Best Documentary Feature, and he won the award for Best Director at the Sundance Film Festival. Following that experience, Spurlock told Civil Eats in 2010, there are great films that are out there that deal with foods, and I think there's a way I can help champion some of those filmmakers. I'd rather do that than go into making another food movie. So this goes on and on. We learn that his ex-wife is Sarah Bernstein. And we learned that he had a follow-up film called Where in the World is Osama bin Laden?, in which Spurlock searched for the terrorist and visited multiple countries impacted by his actions. He had a book called Freakonomics, which if you studied business in the 2010s, you've probably read, and he was a fixture in the film industry. He gained a lot of weight, but what was the problem? Well, he gained a lot of weight during this, but he admitted during this study that he was heavily drinking, right? So while it seems that he was always kind of going against the agenda of the McDonald's Corporation, he actually was drinking the entire time during the study. So it kind of discredited the entire argument he was making, regardless of how true it was. So yes, he had this life, and then eventually, very interestingly, he went to rehab for alcoholism, and his career imploded during the Me Too movement. Now, I had an article that talks about what happened during the Me Too movement, but basically, right here, this article from page 6 is not as kind. It really goes through all of the kind of poor aspects of his life. It talks about Super Size Me kind of launching him, but then it focuses more on, the problem. Look at that. The 13 colonies. The 13 colonies. Interesting thought. He referred to a woman as hot pants and sex pants. So he paid a female assistant a settlement because he called her hot pants and sex pants. And so he admitted to this during the Me Too movement. All kinds of stuff this guy was not really cool with. Worked with One Direction and, helped with Where is Osama bin Laden. And once again, he was survived by his parents, Ben and Phyllis Spurlock. Okay, cool, pup. We've kind of seen 2 obituaries of this guy. But what does this have to do with the Illuminati? What does this have to do with the Jesuit order? What does this have to do at all with providing evidence besides that this person died on the 195th day of the Jesuit order superior general's birthday, and his name equals 195. Of course, the Jesuits were formed to counter the 95 thesis. Let's look at more aspects of the gematria of what you just read in this guy's obituary, this guy's final words of his life that we're all going to know, and talk about this connection to the Jesuit order very seriously. Because there's going to be very few days, very few times in our life where young people, old people, whoever, who thinks there's a secret society, a shadow government, anyone, to actually really have proof. Yes, this man did work for the Jesuit order. This man actually did work for the Jesuit order. And he was way up high in films. His films and his books majorly influenced young people. I guarantee you, Freakonomics has influenced millions of young business school students, and Super Size Me has probably influenced 1 billion young people. This man was highly influential in the film industry. Exactly like what people say members of the Illuminati are. He was not just born on the 195th day of the superior general of the Jesuit order's birthday. Let's look at more facts about this man very quickly. And if you have friends, you're young, you're old, they believe in the New World Order, maybe they don't, maybe this is something you talk about, please show them this. Because the Jesuits have a motto, and when I tell people the Jesuits' motto, they look at me very funny. Because they're surprised, they're shocked, they're very concerned. It's one of the most easy times in my life to be a truth seeker when I tell someone the motto of the Jesuit order. And that is that if we have a child from age 0 to 7, we can control the outcome of their life. Yes, if we have a child and we control them from ages 0 to 7, we can control the outcome of their entire life. A very interesting statement from this group. So what was this child's parents' name? Well, his life was defined by the McDonald's Corporation. There's no way to argue with that. Come on, Super Size Me. You are looking at this video, you know this man because of Super Size Me, related to the McDonald's Corporation. Well, wouldn't you know, his parents' names, Ben and Phyllis Spurlock. Look at all these letters. It's kind of a strange name. Ben and Phyllis Spurlock. Completely different letters than the McDonald's Corporation, but bang! A triple gematria anagram. So what's going on here? This kid growing up, Morgan Spurlock, he knows gematria, but he doesn't know he knows gematria. Because gematria is encoded in his brain through his elementary school teachers who make him say the alphabet in order. So he knows it in the reverse order, thus he knows it in the reduced order, in the reverse reduction order, which is basically saying, for example, if N is the 14th letter of the alphabet, in reduction, it's 1 plus 4, which is 5. In reverse reduction, N is the 12th letter in reverse, so it's 1 plus 2, which is 3. So his parents, Ben and Phyllis Spurlock, triple gematria anagram with McDonald's Corporation. Come on now. I mean, really? This man grew up his entire life surrounded by his parents, Ben and Phyllis Spurlock, who were a triple gematria anagram with McDonald's Corporation, the corporation that defined his life. His humiliation ritual. He paid a settlement for calling a woman hot pants and sex pants. And all the media needs you to know that he called the women both of those things. Why? Because hot pants, sex pants is a double match with Jesuit order. Just like this crazy schizo guy, Free to Find Truth, said, hey, this guy died on the 195th day of the Jesuit Order Superior General's birthday, and his name equals 195. Well, what do you know? He called women hot pants and sex pants. He called women hot pants and sex pants. So he had to pay a settlement, and hot pants and sex pants is a double gematria match with the Jesuit order, just like this guy said this guy had a connection to. So that's his humiliation ritual. He's known for making the film Super Size Me. His ex-wife is named Sarah Bernstein. Wow! Sarah Bernstein, ex-wife, is a double gematria anagram with Super Size Me filmmaker in the same ciphers. What a coincidence. So not only are his parents triple gematria anagrams with McDonald's Corporation that defines his life, but the name of that film is a double gematria anagram with the name of his ex-wife. Wow. And he died on the 195th day of the Jesuit Order Superior General's birthday. He went to the NYU's T School of the Arts. And then right after that, he got famous with the Bet You Will Gonzo web series. That I can assure you, by the way, it's not just going to be the New York Post. No, it's not just going to be the New York Post. You can go look it up. Go look up Gonzo web series right now. Do it. It's not going to be the New York Post. Somehow, every single one of these news outlets knows to say Gonzo web series. Hosted the Gonzo web series, Bet You Will. Why do they have to say that? Those are just random words. They all have to say that. Why? Because that is an inverse gematria anagram with NYU's T School of Business. Okay. And what about Bet You Will? Bet You Will is what got him famous. What about that other movie that got him famous? Well, did you know that he actually discredited the rumor that McDonald's caused cancer because during the film Super Size Me, the filmmaker Super Size Me, whose ex-wife was Sarah Bernstein, which is a double gematria anagram, during that filmmaking, he admitted to drinking heavily. So he kind of discredited all the claims that he made. And even in his cancer death, he was a pretty serious, drinker. And so all of the claims that he made against McDonald's, they're discredited because he was a drinker. So in a way, this guy whose parents were a triple gematria anagram with McDonald's Corporation actually ended up helping McDonald's because he got famous with the Bet You Will series, made a documentary about McDonald's, and he was drinking heavily the whole time. So you can never really prove it was McDonald's who caused this. And also everyone knows there's no such thing as bad publicity. And he got, in his death, this is going to be a little woo-woo. This is the part I'd stop it. I'd stop this video if you're trying to convince someone the Illuminati exists. But I talked about this recently. Google my work on the death of Allison Stewart. Starting this week, Allison Stewart announced dead in Bellevue, Virginia, which I called Guantanamo because it is a quadruple perfect gematria anagram with Bellevue, Virginia. So Bellevue, Virginia and Guantanamo are perfect gematria anagrams. Her death was announced this week, and she was Rick Santorum's advisor. Adrenochrome is a double match with Senator Rick Santorum. She died in Bellevue, Virginia, which is a quadruple gematria anagram with Guantanamo. What's this post say? I averaged up on my long common stock position in AMC theaters this morning from an average cost basis of 4.47. I will not sell the majority of my shares until declassified footage of Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, and Mike Pence's military trials in Gitmo are released. What? Guantanamo Bay. Allison Stewart. I'm pointing out how Joe Biden has a square on his ear, how he's wearing a mask, how he looks like he has normal skin, but he touches his neck, and then a big indentation is left for a long time, and you can clearly see he's wearing a mask because there is a square over his ear. And I'm quoting a post talking about Gitmo, talking about how Allison Stewart of the major media in general, was announced dead in Bellevue, Virginia, which is a quadruple gematria anagram with Guantanamo. She was Rick Santorum's advisor, which is a double gematria anagram with adrenochrome. And the Super Size Me director ends the week announced dead. He ends this week announced dead. And he directed Where is Osama bin Laden, which is a double gematria match with adrenochrome consumption. Notice, adrenochrome consumption has this 116 in it, like Super Size Me filmmaker, and like Sarah Bernstein, his ex-wife. So that was a little extra. So let me just wrap it up real quick. Free to Find Truth. He's really good. He talked about how this guy died on the 195th day of the Jesuit Order Superior General's birthday. I reminded you how the Jesuit Order's motto goes. Give me a child between the ages of 0 to 7, and I will control the outcome of his life. Well, look at this. This child's parents' names were Ben and Phyllis Spurlock. His life was defined by the McDonald's Corporation, which is a triple gematria anagram with his parents' name. His humiliation ritual during the Me Too movement, he called a woman hot pants and sex pants, which is a double gematria anagram with the Jesuit order. He went to his ex-wife was Sarah Bernstein, which is a double gematria anagram with Super Size Me filmmaker. He went to NYU's Tisch School of the Arts before he got famous, starting the Gonzo web series Bet You Will, which is an inverse gematria anagram. Bet You Will is a triple gematria anagram with Jesuit order, and he admitted to drinking heavily during the Super Size Me film, which discredited everything he said about the McDonald's Corporation and his cancer diagnosis today, which is a triple gematria anagram with his parents' name, Ben and Phyllis Spurlock. And before he is announced dead, while he's announced dead, they remind you he directed a film called Where is Osama bin Laden? Which is a double gematria anagram with adrenochrome consumption, which also has this 116 in it, like Sarah Bernstein, his ex-wife, and Super Size Me filmmaker. So, yeah, June 16th, very, very interesting day to think about. But there's so few times where you can really say, hey, this man very famously in the media, it's so obvious, it's so clear he was in bed with the Jesuit order. It's so obvious and so clear he was in bed with the Jesuit order. It's so obvious and so clear he was in bed with the Jesuit order. Yes, I know this is all stupid, worthless, crappy, stupid information, but go back to the very first thing I said in this video. Think about that June 16th date that June 11th date, that second or third week of June that I just talked about, especially if you live west of I-5 in the western coast of the U.S., Washington and Oregon. Because let me tell you something, it ain't a storm like you've ever seen that's coming.